Ah, oh, yeah. Happy now, all is now, so give to be in the present. First, it's on back in here, putting out my perception into the cloud of the collective to expand the collective consciousness, inner peace, and you're now tuning into the mind of an algid moon. And Horus will be transiting the fourth house. Okay, so this is going to be my continuation on the rising signs. If you're watching now, this would be for the Gemini ascendants. Okay, so first of all, how do you find your ascendant on your chart, or aka your rising sign? How do you find that on your natal chart? Okay, this would be your first house, okay, aka the first space in your chart. Okay, so if you look on the first space on your chart, and you look, look at the sign rising on that first house, or the sign that's associated with, next to that first house, that would be your rising. Okay, so yeah, without further ado, it's gonna be a video on the Gemini ascendants. Okay, so yeah, first of all, let's look here. Let's look at Gemini. Gemini, right here. Okay, so Gemini is an air sign. Okay, it's a mutable air sign, and it's ruled by Mercury. Okay, so when we look at the rising, this is like the spirit you're carrying. Okay, how people see you. Okay, so for example, I'm a Leo ascendant. Okay, I appear to look like a Leo, but I'm not a Leo. This is just my disguise. Okay, so with this ascendant, this is how it is. All right, Gemini. So in ascendants is like usually how you will come off first interaction. Okay, when someone's meeting you. Okay, so for example, the mask. When futures say mask off. Okay, so if I was to take my mask off, I'd be a Sagittarius. If I was to take that mask off, I'd be an Aries. Okay, so yeah, your mask as a Gemini ascendant, yeah, it's Gemini. That's the mask you're wearing. Okay, so yeah, so Gemini ascendant comes off as communicative. Okay, communicative. Okay, so someone who, and first house. Okay, so like I say, first house is dealing with personal issues or anything that has to do with the self. Okay, anything that has to do with you personally, that's your first house, the I am house. Okay, so when you put Gemini here, when you have a Gemini rising, you are more, let's say, first interaction, someone sees you. This is, yeah, someone who comes off as more communicative. This person can come off as an intellectual. Okay, person can come off as someone who knows a little bit about everything. The jack of all trades thing that is associated with Gemini, the common jack of all trades thing. This is someone who will be, mutable communication, first interaction, someone who, yeah, most definitely would be able to keep up with you in a conversation, and when you're communicating with this person, because this is the mask you're wearing. Okay, they look like Gemini. Okay, and someone who will be more likely to be communicating with familiar people they're familiar with, and communicating with their surroundings. People who are more likely to be communicating in their surroundings. They're more social, more extrovert. Okay, people who are more extrovert. Okay, in the public, the persona they're carrying. Okay, so yeah, with let's say air, Gemini being that air sign, air is yang in the left brain. Okay, so air is yang in the left brain, meaning it's more dealing with the external realm. Okay, more communicating to, just to communicating to put out the information. Okay, as opposed to earth in the left brain, communicating to make sense, to practicalize, to give it some sort of shape and form. Okay, air is just flowing, communicating to blow conversations where it wants to go. Okay, so first house, personal issues, You're dealing with self. Anything that has to do with the self, anything that has to do with you, anything that involves you personally, how you go about go about handling this, you communicate about it. Okay? So you have someone that has beef with you, or someone you have something, that's, you have something internally about something that's going on with you personally. You are more likely to communicate about this, to communicate with self. Gemini ascendant, first house, dealing with the self, most definitely is like, yeah, communicating about the self, okay? Learning about self, okay? Yeah, questioning, air is more, yeah, questioning outwardly, curious, anything that has to, curiosity, okay, personal issues, anything that has to do with you, you will, want to know, anything personally, you like to, let's say someone who you are able to sit down and communicate and vent to, okay, someone Gemini ascendant, you were able to sit down and actually vent with this person, and this person will be, with that Gemini being mutable, they will be able to go back and forth with you, okay, where you're at. You see, that's the Gemini energy. It's people say, Gemini energy is communicating, and it's good for, it communicates where you're at, they can meet you where you're at, and they can communicate where you're at to help you find, anything that has to do with you personally. This is someone, like I said, you can sit down and talk to. Anything that you want to, that if you got something going on within, with the Gemini ascendant, you can most definitely go to this person and communicate about it, because they'll sit there and communicate about this all day, and also with themselves. They communicate with themselves too, so like I say, this is your unconscious spirit you're carrying, and it depends on, let's say, your sun and your moon, on how you will go about, really showing this, so for example, let's say you have a Leo sun and an Aries moon, okay? Let's say you got a Leo sun and an Aries moon with a Gemini ascendant. So like I say, the three trinity, your sun, moon, and ascendant, these are you, okay? So you got the ascendant, how you come off, how you look. So let me give you my example right now. So I'm Leo ascendant, right? Okay, but my sun sign is Sagittarius and my moon is Aries, okay? So, I go about, Leo, dramatic, and let's say teaching in an expressive type way, passionate Aries moon, teaching Sagittarius sun, in a Leo expressive type way, sun, okay? So passionate, Mars, teaching, Jupiter, in a expressive sun type way. So, the ascendant, your ascendant as Gemini ascendant, you would look like Mercury, okay? You look like Mercury, all right? So, like I said, if you got, let's say you got Leo sun, Aries moon, okay? So passionate expression when dealing with communication, okay? So this is how it would be, and depends on the frequency vibration of the spirit, and depends on frequency vibration, where you're going, and the spirit utilizing the energy in the vessel. The spirit utilizing the energies, okay? So man, this is Gemini rising, most definitely dealing with communication. And I'm gonna give you a little trick. I'm gonna just show you a little trick. So if you was a Gemini rising, okay, I'm gonna teach you about the descendant. So rising and ascendant is the same thing. So when you hear ascendant and you hear rising, is the same thing. Okay, so if you are a Gemini rising, okay, and this means your descendant would be Sagittarius. Okay, that's just opposite. Gemini, Sagittarius. That's just the trick. Okay, so yeah. First sign out. Catch now has been the Gemini ascendant.